I didn't. I just talked to the team and came in. So I'll find out after I leave here. But I don't know.
Obviously, it was a slog for you guys offensively in terms of shooting and turnovers. There's also something on our broadcast where Vooch was pretty upset during one timeout that he thought guys were missing him. He grabbed the green. You were huddling with the coaches, so you might not have seen it, but he grabbed the green sport. He was kind of that. Do you think you guys missed him a lot?
I don't think it was necessarily he was on them about that. I think he was on what we were doing offensively and that kind of stuff. I don't think Vooch has never been about, the ball coming to him. It was more about us executing, and we had some younger guys in there, and we talked about this before, it's opened up some roles and some opportunities from other guys. But I think he was basically talking about the spacing and the things that we needed to do to try to, get the ball ahead of the defense, get downhill, that kind of stuff. So, he's been, at times this year, vocal in the timeouts, which I appreciate and respect, because he does care. But I do think, and I may be off base, you can ask him, I thought it was more generated towards, because we had talked about it in the timeout when I got in there, was just about the right spacing and how we needed to space and what we needed to do to help one another. And that's kind of where the conversation finished up when I got in there.
And do you think that contributed to some of the offensive woes just throughout the night, or do you think you guys had a rough night shooting the basketball?
I think the turnovers hurt us in the first half. We shot pretty well from three. I thought we generated some good looks. We didn't finish great around the rim tonight. I don't know what the numbers will turn out to be. That was tough. I thought, for the most part, when you're down ball handlers like we are, we've got to utilize each other to generate and manufacture good offense. There's certainly plenty of clips that we could have screened better, helped each other a little bit more. I thought one of the things we didn't do last night was we can't play isolation basketball where we're in slots and just trying to take a guy. It's not good for us, and we're not great at it. And I did think we were trying to help each other a little bit more, which was good to see, especially in the half court with the pace and the speed and the ball movement. But overall, I thought our guys competed and played hard. I just thought a couple things in the first half. One was the offensive rebounding, even though we grabbed more offensive rebounds, the turnovers. But then at the half, it was 22-10 in transition. To me, these are all controllable things, regardless of who's healthy and who's available, that we got to be able to do better. And some of the turnovers were careless, in my opinion. We've got to be better cleaning that up.
Billy, the inbound to Coby, was it Coby or were there?
It was two options. It was Kevin kind of coming around the first one. It kind of got jammed up. It got kind of jammed up. I didn't see the film. That may have helped Coby, quite honest, get open because it was almost like two screens there. But the first option was Kevin going over the top to the ball side corner and then Coby coming out. I told him in the timeout, maybe it was 4.5 seconds or so. I thought that they may try to give another foul up three, and I tried to, just tell those guys, we got to get a catch and shoot situation. Right. He's not going to be able to throw it in, and the guy's going to be able to dribble and get a shot off. So I thought the guys executed the play pretty well in terms of we got Coby a good look late.
This is back-to-back. The Indiana situation was a little different because that was kind of a third time after the modest tip and the one that went out of bounds. But this is the second night in a row Coby's actually had a chance to finish a game.
Mm-hmm.
What do you read into that as far as where his confidence is and, being put in that kind of hero ball situation?
Yeah, I love it for him in terms of his growth. I've got a lot of confidence and belief in him. You've got to, there was a game last year, kind of a similar situation where he missed a shot, and then the next game back, he came back and made a huge shot. I don't think it was a game winner, but it was like a big shot that iced the game. And I think Coby leans into these situations, and for him to become the player that he wants to become, you're not going to make them all. Right. You got to make them. I think the thing that he'll have to ask himself is, did I shoot with confidence? Was I balanced? Was I set? Did I go through all the things I had control over? And I think he did. I thought he got a good look, and he came off confidently, and the ball just didn't go in. That happens sometimes. And I've said this before. I think for us, if we can generate good shots for one another, we got to live with the result. But, whether it was Kevin shooting it because he made one a couple games ago, out of the corner, or whether it's Coby, you feel good about it, in those two guys. You want all those guys shooting the ball with confidence.
That stretch in the fourth quarter where it felt like Ayo was trying to just kind of will the team kind of that 10-point help. What did you see from him in that stretch, and how do you feel like that kind of reflects on just this jump that he's taken this season?
Yeah, Ayo's been very, very vocal with his voice the last 2 years, which, I think we need. He's also got a spirit about him that he never thinks he's out of it. I think that kind of permeates through the team. Um, like it got 10, 11, it was 8, 7, was, kind of hovering around. And, I think his talk and those things is good about the belief that we can get over the hump. And certainly we got it back into a one possession game. Um, but I just love his spirit, his competitiveness, and the way he, treats those moments. He never feels like he's out of it.
You alluded to it, and obviously Giddy's not here. His assist numbers are going to be fewer when Giddy's not here. Trey Jones. But this has been 5 or 6 games. It seems like that there's more dribbling going on, much fewer transition points. How much is that, like you say, they're trying to do it their own, or is it guys, those two guys not being here, Giddy on a minutes limit, Jones not here, or is it, January malaise, dog days?
Right. No, I think it's
to play like that, or what do you see that's the tendency is, because you're not playing the way you were playing before.
No, I think it's a great point. I think one, is when we're trying to play like that, right? It requires a lot of quick, decisive decisions. And, sometimes guys get guarded from game to game differently. Sometimes guys have different guys on them differently. Sometimes we're cross matched. And, before the game, whether it's shoot around today was a walkthrough, you try to put on their brain, hey, here are things and situations. This is what you got to be, able to do. In the Indiana game, I didn't think, quite honestly, we worked hard enough to generate those situations where the ball moved. We got to help each other. So some of it is like guys coming into screening actions, knowing when and where. The other part of it is when they come into the screening action, are they switching? Are they showing? Are they backed up? Do I shoot it behind it? Do I try to hit the roll man? And I think when those things are happening quickly and we don't exploit them right away, we get held with the ball. And then the next guy's trying to throw it to the next guy. But like early in the game, you saw where, Jalen wrote, like slipped out a couple of times. We got him at the basket for a dunk. I think it happened twice. Like he's an older guy who's been through that stuff. Like that's the kind of stuff that we got to be able to pick up and be able to make reads on quickly. Because what happens is you see a lot of different coverages. Like tonight, they were just switching Vooch. They were eliminating his pocket. They were trying to take away his role by fronting him. So now you got a big guy on the perimeter. How do we generate the next action, to your point, to keep the ball moving? And for some of these guys, the more they can go through, I think the better they'll get at it.
There's also guys that are dribbling up all the way, they're not throwing ahead like you would talk about so much.
Yeah. Well, I think two things have happened, and certainly.
I guess the question is, how do you change it back to the way you want to play?
Well, some of it, to be honest with you, is really predicated and dictated on how teams are guarding us. If teams are back and they're taking away those advanced passes, it's hard to throw them. I thought we could have done a better job tonight of coming up, quite honestly, with our bigs or even our guards and back screening across before half court to spring our guards free to get downhill because we couldn't advance the ball. Now, they've gone to the backboard a lot more here recently than maybe the first time we played against them. Indiana didn't really crash a whole lot other than late in the fourth quarter. So some of these teams they're putting an emphasis on getting back to take away some of those things to try to get us to play, the last, 21 seconds of the clock.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you, guys.
I mean, both teams were obviously kind of sluggish. I mean, that's a tough back-to-back. They get in at 4:30 in the morning. You guys have a crazy game last night. You feel like that kind of contributed to some of the turnovers and poor shooting early on?
I mean, I wouldn't say that's an excuse. I think that's all mental. But, I mean, we both have to do it, like you stated. So there's really no excuse to even play field. They had a home game against a tough Orlando team last night, and we had a away game against a fast-paced Indiana team. So it all balances out. I wouldn't say that's an excuse because it's an even playing field. Yeah.
What was you obviously 2 nights in a row have just had a ton of success completely attacking the rim in the fourth quarter. What did you see out there defensively that allowed you to do that?
Just trying to be aggressive. Always trying to be aggressive and always trying to take whatever the defense gives me. That's just been my mindset. Whatever defense gives me, take it. So if they're closing out hard, then I'm able to drive. If they're back and I shoot it. Just trying to pretty much simplify the game. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Trying to play fast-paced, up the tempo. I thought late in the third, early in the fourth, we were doing a better job at transition. So I was trying to push the tempo up, trying to get guys shots, trying to generate more threes. And we did that for a good portion of the game, and then they went to a zone. So
You were bringing some of that defensive edge in the fourth quarter with some of those steals. What kind of responsibility do you take for kind of some of that perimeter defense just being disruptive?
I just try to take pride in guarding the ball, guard my yard, and also try to do whatever it takes to help the team win. I think the point of the attack is very important, and I'm normally on the ball a lot. Me, Ice Trey, we normally on the ball a lot, and I think that's very important. Similar to like a defensive end. If you watch football, I think you're just getting pressure to the quarterback. That's very important. So that's pretty much all I try to hold my hang my hat on, have pride in guarding the ball. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. Everyone's going to get beat, but it's about just doing it, playing hard, and trying to fight each and every possession.
What's the difficulties though? You're going to go to Miami, play back-to-back games against them again.
I wouldn't say it's nothing too difficult because we both teams have to do it. I don't think no team has an advantage. We both teams, I'm not mistaken, playing 4 games in 5 nights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an even playing field. So it's all about whatever team wants it more. I think we played pretty hard, but I think they made more of the plays in terms of the controllables. So now we got to go and do it again. We know what they're going to bring. We know they're going to either amp it up even more. And it's a mini playoff series, so we have to have that in the back of our minds to understand that we know what's coming. There's no secret. We know what's coming. We know how they play. And now it's all about which team can convert better in the controllables.
It's pretty funny because I remember just last week we were talking to you about your 3-point shooting and how good it is, and the percentage is still there. But the last couple of games, you haven't taken a lot of threes because you've seen the rim attacks. And I remember asking you last week, like, how do you balance those things, like knowing when to shoot the 3, knowing when to rim attack? Do you think this is like the best of your career in terms of recognition, in terms of those 2 things?
Definitely. Just trying to. I watch a lot of film,
Yeah.
and I don't never want to turn into a one-dimensional player. Whether that's just me being a player that just drives or me being a player that just falls in love with the 3, I think I was blessed with a nice frame, strength, speed to be able to do both. So now it's about mixing it in. I think I've been doing a good job of that. I've been getting some pretty good looks. Also, my percentage being higher, most teams are going to be hesitant to leave me or they're going to close out even harder. So now that, goes into my strength to be able to get downhill and use my speed, and that's when I think it really gets scary at when I'm able to, put games together, when I'm able to pick my poison literally when I'm getting to the line, making my free throws, I'm able to make my open shots, be efficient there, and then also use my speed to get to the rim and just cause havoc and be in the paint, whether it's not me just shooting it or it's me creating opportunity for someone else. And that's just what I try to really watch and hone in on is take whatever defense gives me, not going into it. You can never go into a game and say, I'm going to shoot 10 threes. Well, that's not my game, so I would never do that. I always want to go into the game and literally take whatever defense gives me. If I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. If I'm not, I'm going to make the right play. I'm going to get downhill. I'm going to try to get fouled. Pretty much do a little bit of everything. I'm going to try to guard. But, yeah, to answer your question, I would say probably the best is in terms of balance.
That said, in the fourth quarter, you mentioned it before tonight, you made some big plays. I mean, clearly wasn't what the defense was giving you. You're exerting yourself. I think it was Indiana, maybe it's like get 4 straight. In that game, scoring possessions where the team is sort of falling behind. How much are you recognizing, say, the team needs me at this point to do something more?
I just try to always be aggressive. Of course, when the game gets tighter, you always try to be probably a little bit more aggressive. You also have to balance in the feel for the game. But when I see it like a team not getting back, or I see I can use my speed and be able to get open, get out in transition, get fouled, and I'm going to of course keep exploiting that. But what I mean, take whatever defense gives me. I mean, like if I get a closeout and they're back, then I'll shoot it. But if not, I'm always looking to get to the paint because that's what our offense is predicated on. Open side, getting downhill, getting to actions fast, and that really meshes right into my game. So, but to answer your question, of course, it also has to come with a little bit of feel for the game. Like you have to understand, okay, who's in the game? Are they in foul trouble? Are we in the bonus? Are they getting back? Are they a good transition team? Do they load up to the ball? Do they not load up? Like, it's a lot of different stuff that comes into it. And I try to just be prepared before the game, talking to the coaches to So then when I get out there, I'm able to just.
I guess also I was asking, how much are you reacting to the urgency of the moment? You know, your team getting behind.
Yeah.
You know, having to do something.
Yeah, that just comes to feel for the game. Of course, when the moment rises, you want to rise with it. I think we were down 110 to 100 in this game. And you always want to try to get a good shot. So, of course, you want to ride to the moment. Unfortunately, we are able to get the win. But I think Coby got a great shot, a shot that he normally makes, and a shot we work on every day in practice that he makes. So, but yeah, when the tensions rise, pressure rises, you always want to rise with it.
Do you ever have a uncanny knack for scoring quickly after a made basket and getting downhill or getting past the defense quickly and scoring? Have you ever sensed like the demoralizing effect that has on an opponent? I mean, Spolster at one point, he did it once tonight, and Spolster kind of threw his hands up, like, what the?
Yeah, Coach Dan, when I coach it, he gets on me a lot about trying to, we call it answer back, trying to just get the ball out quick. And like I said, none of it just me scoring, but me get it down fast. So now I'm plugged the big in. Now Gooch able to get the ball to the next side. So, like I said, using my speed, that's very important. He thinks I should have more answer back. So I just try to go out there and just, just do what the coach is telling me. Try to use my speed to help the guys. We play so fast. We play fast on offense. And we play tough on those defense. So I know sometimes it can be tiring going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I try to use my speed. We got 24-second shot clock. If I get it out fast, I get up the court 18, 19. Now we're getting to the action faster. So just playing to our strengths and playing my strengths.
To that, it feels like a lot of them are like right after a highlight play. Like there was that alley-oop to Bam, and then you were down on the other end.
Yeah.
How important are those to like break up momentum and like prevent a team like the Heat from like rattling off a run?
Yeah, I mean that's what Coach Donovan literally he harps on that a lot, like getting the ball out fast, no matter what kind of play it is. It's a highlight play. Don't be demoralized because the game is happening fast. Swings happen fast. 10-point game with 3 minutes left tonight, and end up coming down to the last second shot. Last night it was a 14-point game with 7 minutes left, and we end up coming down to the wire. So the game is going to swing back and forth. So you got to stay in the moment, literally. Stay in the moment the whole game, and then when you come to the locker room, you could let everything soak in.
I don't know, but these are big games considering where you guys are in the standings. I mean, do you feel like, all right, you guys have to go to South Beach and send a message back to this team?
I mean, yeah, I feel like we're going to any game like this, but obviously, yeah, it was a grinded out game. We try to make a push at the end, but so I mean, of course, we want to go to Miami and get to for sure.
Tough back-to-back for both teams. Did you guys feel it was kind of a ragged game in terms of shooting and turnovers because of the back-to-back?
Yeah, I felt like just for them, obviously they got in probably late coming from Miami. Yeah, so that's tough. And then obviously they played against a physical big Orlando team. We played against a top pace team in Indiana, who's also very physical, and both of us are top pace. So I feel like the game, like from the jump, we was just saying like it's just gonna be one of those grinded out games for both teams. Honestly, I think, obviously I feel probably if you ask both teams, they didn't feel like each team played their best basketball tonight. But I mean, it's the league, and that's how kind of back to backs are. So you just try to figure out ways to impact the game at that point.
How'd you feel about the look you got?
I felt great. Hurt my heart, man. Hurt my heart. It came off my hand. I thought it was good. It was online. I got a clean look. Hit the back of the rim. Just didn't fall. So, but like I always say, you take it and learn from it. I've hit that shot before in those moments. So, I'm just blessed to be in that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like coming from, you look back on my career, where I started and where I'm at, for me to be trusted in those moments. So, just look forward to next time I get to be the opportunity to be in that moment again.
How difficult is it if you guys are undermanned again?
I mean, it's tough, but it's next man up, right? Like obviously, Sticks went down. We're hoping the best for him, the best news possible for him, praying the best news possible for him. He's been obviously a huge part of what we've been doing. DT stepped up big in the second half and made some big time plays. So it's always, and Julian came in, provided some big time minutes. So it's next man up. I think we've been dealing with it all year. I think we played a total of probably 3 games with the whole team. So you got to keep figuring out ways to do it.
You mentioned the turnovers. It felt like Miami, especially, just kind of like jumps on you the moment that you make a mistake. Was that kind of how it felt out there?
No, I mean they just got active hands. They're very physical. They got active hands. So for us, we did it. We did a majority a good job being strong. I think that second half we kind of had some turnovers there, but I mean they're always physical. So and like I said, on drives they're very active. They gamble. So that's how they've been playing, and it works out in their favor.
It felt like Ayo was just kind of like trying to will you guys into it in that fourth quarter. What did you see from him?
He just made some big time plays down the stretch, on and off the ball, and then defensively also got a big steal. So he's been doing it all year. So he made huge plays, and that's my dog, and I kind of feel for him the most because he had that incredible performance, and I couldn't knock it down. So.
Coby, it's early.
I was just trying to get to his locker.
Oh, my bad. Coby, it's early. You're just coming out of the game, but it's only your second back-to-back of the season. Do you have a sense of how you feel now and how you might feel tomorrow?
I mean, I'm in terms of just general like body soreness and being like tired. It was tough. But other than that, I felt good. So we'll see. I feel solid right now. Just like I said, see how I feel tomorrow. Take it day by day.
Have they communicated to you what the plan is for Miami yet? Or you got to wait and see how you feel tomorrow?
Nah, I ain't. The game's just ended, so we haven't really talked about it.
They haven't ruled you out of anything in Miami yet, though.
What you mean?
Like they haven't said you're not playing one of those two games for
No.
sure? Not yet?
No.
Okay. All right, just asking. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Coby.